Well, I've recently kind of moved up the chain somewhat because I've been a writer for 20 years. And recently I've taken the step of forming my own production company. So I've now jumped up a couple of rungs. I've become a producer, and then above that I've become a company member as well. So we're making shows as well as writing them. So it's an insight into a whole new world. Unbelievable actually how much compromise there is involved. As a writer, you generally produce something and then that's it. When you're a producer and when you're a creative director, you're so much more pandering to people. And I don't mean that in a bad way. It can be a very positive experience, but there's a lot more collaboration, a lot more give and take. And certainly you have to please a lot more people, not least the people funding the show and the people you're working alongside. So I've certainly learnt a lot more about keeping an open mind and being a bit more collaborative. Well, I think for 20 years I've been writing, and there comes a point where you think, you know, the best person to promote my work is me. And I think I can show, you know, the passion, enthusiasm for a project that maybe a third person can't. So we took the step with two friends to set up a company, and we're all writers. And we just tried to cut out the middleman a little bit, so we could go straight to the broadcasters. And also you get a much quicker response, because when you're dealing with middlemen like producers and companies, they can't react. So if a broadcaster's saying, well, we're looking for something that's a little bit more young, they kind of go, oh, okay. And then they go away, talk to us and say, they need something a bit young. We talk about it, then they go back. If you're in that meeting, you can come straight back with a response. You can speed up the process, you can react to what you're hearing, and you can, I think, slightly finesse your ideas. So that was one of them. The other one, of course, is just control. It's just to have a little bit more control over what we do. And also to look a little bit more ahead to the future, to where we are when perhaps when our demand as writers is perhaps ebbing away and the new generation come through. At least we'll then have something to explore. It's been very interesting for me because I'm hearing about things which are kind of beyond my normal realm. Fascinating details about what's happening across Europe. I've been very enthused by people's passion for what they do, the artistry of what they do. So it's made me realise actually that, you know, maybe I should be looking a bit bigger in the wider picture of what we can do together by collaborating as fellow makers and artists and authors. So I've been very enthused by that, I think. And also, again, a bit of a wake-up call about what's happening out there as well. Very, I wouldn't say scary, but interesting, but also exciting. Well, I first became involved in the ALCS kind of randomly, I think about sort of 5 years ago. I'd been a member for 10 years, but at that point they then invited me to a do, and I could never resist a do. Being a writer, if there's a chance of free food and drink, I will be there. And I got talking to people, I kind of got a little bit more interested about what they were doing. And I've now recently stepped onto the board as a non-executive director. So I'm a bit more hands-on now in the running of the company. And it's, yeah, it's fascinating. And I'm suddenly realising how important the protection of copyright is and how we need to work together, because unfortunately there's a lot of people out there who want to squash copyright and take it away. So it's very important we unify and we work together on this. I'm glad to be part of that as well. I think the ALCS has done a fantastic job of promoting and protecting authors' rights.